They were invisible, unarmed, unknown, and yet they shaped the outcome of the war. They weren't ordinary soldiers. They were illusionists, artists, engineers, masters of deception. In 1944, the Allies faced a deadly problem. The Nazis counted every tank, every truck, every soldier. Every mistake could cost thousands of lives. And so the Allies turned to something unprecedented: deception on a massive scale. Imagine standing in a field, hearing the rumble of tanks, the shouting of officers, the clatter of soldiers moving into position. You march forward, ready to fight, and find nothing. Not a single tank, not a single soldier, just dust, fog, and silence. It wasn't magic. It was science, art, and courage. They called themselves the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, but no one knew what they did. Not the Germans, not even other Americans. One soldier, a commercial artist from New York, spent hours sculpting dents, scratches, and scorch marks into a 40-foot rubber tank. Every mud splatter, every burn mark, perfectly designed to fool the enemy. He said later, "It was like painting a lie that could save lives." And it did. The Ghost Army staged an entire fake division in southern England. Inflatable landing craft, fake planes, broadcast fake radio chatter. The Nazis were convinced the invasion would hit Pas-de-Calais. Meanwhile, thousands of real soldiers prepared to storm Normandy, and thanks to the Ghost Army, fewer German troops waited for them. Their tactics were brilliant and dangerous. If captured, they risked torture or worse. But these men were calm, precise, performing under the pressure of knowing real soldiers' lives depended on their illusions. One night, they staged a fake river crossing. Inflatable boats floated silently on the water. Recorded sounds of gunfire, marching, and shouting made it seem like a massive attack. The Germans repositioned their forces away from the real assault. Lives were saved. Their tools were simple but deadly effective. Inflatable tanks and jeeps that stretched illusions for miles, sound trucks blasting recordings of troops and artillery fire, fake radio traffic that convinced the enemy entire divisions were moving into place. Each operation required nerves of steel, creativity, and perfect timing. One mistake and the ruse could fail, costing lives. But the Ghost Army didn't just make things look real, they made them feel real. Entire battalions, phantom tanks, ghostly artillery units, all carefully choreographed. The Germans weren't just fooled, they panicked. By 1945, the Ghost Army had executed more than 20 major deception operations across Europe. They moved 1,100 men who created the illusion of 30,000. Entire German divisions were misled. Cities were liberated. Battles were won without a single shot fired. There was a soldier who said, "I could hear the tanks coming. I could see the shadows of soldiers. I knew they weren't real, but the fear they caused, it was real." That's the genius of the Ghost Army, weaponizing perception itself. They were performers on a battlefield stage. Engineers became sound designers. Artists became strategists. Soldiers became actors. And every night, they rehearsed their roles with deadly seriousness. At night, they projected lights to simulate troop movements. Inflatable tanks appeared to crawl over the hills. Phantom infantry marched across open fields. The Germans saw shadows. They heard engine roars and marching boots. And yet, when dawn arrived, nothing was there. Only the Ghost Army, unseen, smiling at another victory. Success demanded precision, imagination, and bravery. Every inflatable tank, every sound recording, every fake camp was part of a deadly dance, and every operation saved lives. They staged entire cities of illusions: smoke, fake artillery fire, fake supply lines. Enemy scouts reported what they believed were massive Allied movements. Entire German divisions marched away from actual battle zones. After the war, the Ghost Army returned home quietly. Their missions remained classified. Medals were few. Recognition came decades later, yet their impact was immense. The soldiers who created illusions saved thousands of real lives. Invisible heroes, masters of deception, America's Ghost Army. They proved that sometimes the greatest victories are won without firing a single bullet.